Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that doesn't know if it's pronounced Kim Basinger or Kim Bassinger. I am Cody Carlson's co-host, Zac and Brennan, and of course,
Cody Carlson.
And we are talking about Horrified from
Ravensburger.
See, that's why you do
Ravensburger.
Yeah. Ravensburger. Horrified.
So this is the second episode of TDG RePlay, where we're going back and looking at games we reviewed at least a year ago, maybe longer. And as Zac said, we are looking at Horrified from Ravensburger. And we're going to talk a little bit about this game, which just came out last year, I believe. Maybe it was 18 or 19. I think it was 19. But I played it. I reviewed it just over a year ago. I think I reviewed it October of 19. And then did you play it for the first time last year or this year? When did you
it was, it might have been end of last year. My son actually got it for his birthday.
Oh, okay.
His friend gave it to his birthday. He played it a bunch. And I was really excited. So this would have been last year, July.
Okay.
Yeah, so then I played at the end of last year. So it was like fall last year.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have not played this game together. You and I have never played a game together. I got it, like I say, about a year ago. I played, I think, 3 or 4 games, and then I hadn't played it in a while. I played it again last night with some friends, and it's a game I wanted to talk about and kind of go back and re-examine and talk about what I liked about it and what I didn't. And I know Zac enjoys this game quite a bit. So, Zac, let me ask you right now. You've played this game a few times, I think.
Yes, I have.
And I know you talk about the monsters. You say there's always a way you like to play with the monsters.
I've kind of developed, and I know how much you love the term house rules. And I wouldn't even call it a house rule. It's more or less a preference. Because you have, 6 monsters, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
You have 6 monsters, and I have found, for me, a cooperative game needs to be difficult. I want to lose a cooperative game more than I win it.
It wouldn't be fun if you won it all the time. It wouldn't be worth playing.
Exactly. I want it to be an enormous accomplishment. We've lost it 3 times in a row now. We finally, by the skin of our teeth, won it. And I like playing this game. My way of playing this is, regardless of how many people you have, you always have one more monster than those playing. So if you're playing with 2, you have 3 monsters. If you're playing with 3, you have 4.
And what's your logic with that?
I think because if you play it with 3 people and 3 monsters, you can get into this, okay, you take Dracula, you take Creature from the Black Lagoon, although we are still helping each other. When you got 4, you go from man to zone. Yeah. And now you can each kind of take your one, but then you also got to kind of work with this other 4th outlier. It makes it more difficult, but you avoid that, well, okay, you're this, and I'm this, and we're all doing our own thing now. It forces you, I think, to play with each other more.
A little bit more cooperative, yeah.
That's what I like about it. It makes it a lot harder.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played it. I think the first couple of times I played it, I just played with the recommended 2 players to learn it, 2 monsters to learn it. And then I think every other game I played has been 3-player, the standard game with 3 monsters. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and it's an easier game to win if you have obviously more players than monsters. But the reverse is also true.
I mean, still, it's not that easy with 3 monsters anyway. No matter how many you have, but still, that's just
right. It can be difficult. The game I played last night, there were 3 players, we had 3 monsters, and we lost. We beat 2 of the monsters, but we ran out of cards before we could finish it, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you: the game is very interesting in where it is cooperative. You take your actions, and then you have the negative action.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, there's a lot of cooperative games do that. I'm thinking of Shadows over Camelot. Did you ever play Shadows over Camelot?
I've never played Shadows.
You should. That's a hidden trader game, but very fun. But Battlestar Galactica has, you have the crisis cards. So this game is essentially you take your actions, and then you do the bad guy actions. Where the game kind of feels a little clunky to me is when you pull out a card and it's like, you're not playing with Wolfman. You get a Wolfman card. So it's like, okay, just ignore the Wolfman stuff and go on. I don't know. That to me is a little anticlimactic. I wish there was a way you could take out the Wolfman cards and just fill in.
Here's why that doesn't bother me.
Okay,
I can see how it bothers me.
Go ahead.
But it doesn't bother me because everything else is so difficult and there's so much garbage thrown at you. it is. It's. I look at that. If you're not playing with Wolfband, you get a Wolfband card. I look at that as like drawing a nothing happens card.
All right. Well, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? You get a respite, and you're not going to get.
I guess my feeling is it kind of throws me thematically a little bit. And what I almost kind of wish, and I'm hoping they come out with an expansion for this at some time. I really hope they do. And you could do more monsters, but I'm thinking what would be really cool is if each monster had their own like deck. Mini deck, and then you would shuffle the mini decks together. I think that would be kind of a fun way to do it. But the system works well, and that's a minor complaint I've got on my side there.
No, that's a valid one. And you talked about the theme of it, and we've said this. We've said this a billion times. We're going to say it a billion more times. Games based on IP are the best when they put you into the theme.
Right,
when you feel like you're walking the streets of Transylvania and turning the corner and there's a Wolfman,
Right.
And it does a really good job of that, I think.
Yeah, it does. It's I think this is one of those games that is simple enough and straightforward enough that it's a great gateway game to introduce people to.
Oh yeah, a good.
But then at the same time, it's difficult enough. It's got enough challenge that you want to keep playing it. I played that game last night. I'm thinking I want to play it again. Because it's just that much fun.
You got those games you have on your shelf in your game closet that you pull out more than the other ones. I mean, there are certain games that may not be your favorite games, but you play them more.
Yeah.
Because they're fun and they're a half an hour, 45 minutes.
They're quick games.
They're a quick game. You know the rules. All that. And this is one of those games where you might have a whole bunch of games you enjoy more than it, but it's one that's fun enough and easy enough and quick enough.
And easy to teach when you're playing with people who haven't played it before.
Well, I have 4 kids between the ages of 18 and 10. And my 10-year-old, my 12-year-old can play this game real easy.
Yeah.
And I love playing easy cooperative games with them because if they have a hard time reading something or they don't understand something, it's within the rules to help them through it.
Right.
And so as you call this a gateway game, I think it's really good. And you might be able to think of games like this, but I don't know many other games that feel like they have little mini games inside the game. Which is essentially what this is to me.
I mean, there are games like, I'm thinking like XCOM. You played XCOM, the board game, right?
Yeah, I played that.
Where you each have your own roles. And there's a little bit of those mini games there, too.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of that. And there's other games. Can't think of any off the top of my head, but they do have those little mechanics where you're playing your individual games. You can make an argument Captain Sonar does that,
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely does.
But I agree. From just a straight board game, cooperative, this game does that very well. Gives you the mini games with the different monsters.
Yeah. I wonder if they'd ever come out with an 80s version of this.
Like with Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. Pinhead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be...
Well, that might be more difficult because those IPs probably have different licensing and stuff, and this is all the classic Universals. And I got to tell you, what's cool, I like that idea, but what's cool about this is it is these classic Universal monsters, And
that's the fun. It's the classic Universals, but Cody, we're getting to an age where those ones are getting to be classic, too.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
That's right. That's what's so fun about them is the classic Universals. maybe they should add a Abbott and Costello expansion.
Yeah, exactly. Where they're, I don't know
what that would be.
The villagers or something. That, you can do special things, or I don't know. But I like it. The game. So Ravensburger's put out. It's Prospero Hall designed this for Ravensburger. Okay, and Prospero Hall has put out just some amazing games. Mm-hmm. Jaws, which you just played recently.
My kids gave it to me for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I played it with my son. Oh, that was fun. I mean, you like this. It was fun like this.
And so Jaws was good. The Disney Villainous is good. Well, and the Marvel spinoff. And you didn't play the Wonder Woman game.
I haven't yet, but you said that's really good.
It's good. It's good. My issue with the Wonder Woman game was to me, it felt too much like Horrified. I mean, they're different games. Don't misunderstand me. There's different things going on. But I don't know. I kind of got the same feel from that game that I got from Horrified. I actually ended up giving that to one of my friends down in Texas.
Oh, cool.
But there's that, and then they did. What was the other one they've done that I like so much? They just did one recently, and I can't think of what it was, but I really like that one too. Oh, the Back to the Future one. The Back to the Future one.
Back in Time.
Back in Time. That one, which ironically wasn't Ravensburger, but I really liked that Back to the Future game too, and you got that same feeling. The only game of theirs I didn't like was the Disney Jungle Cruise adventure game, which was not a good game.
Yeah, they can't all be jams.
No, they can't. But the thing of it is, it's not just like, for me, it's Prospero Hall's been putting out, just fantastic games pretty consistently, with that exception. Yeah. It wasn't just like they've got some good and some really good. It's like they were all really good, and then you just had this big stinker that didn't quite fit.
Well, and very accessible games too. They're not hard.
No, absolutely.
A lot of fun.
I love Horrified. I think Horrified is a fantastic game. My recommendation for Horrified has not changed. I still strongly urge you to buy it. Again, if you like cooperative games, if you like games that, again, easy to play, easy to teach, you want to bring more people into the hobby, I think this is just a phenomenal game. And I don't think you have to be too old to get it. Like you say, you've got some younger kids that like it as well. Yeah. So, Zach, do you have any final words, any final thoughts about Horrified?
No. Well, we have been the Discriminating Gamer. Please subscribe to us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. Like I said, we are the Discriminating Gamer. Why most of you may always think of Michael Keaton as Batman, to us, he will always be Mr. Mom.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Do you really want to review another game, Tolliver?
I surely do, Mr. Cody.
Do you want to give me a dirty look?
Oh, yes, sorry.